In my opinion, we probably had 24 candidates who could do a really good job, but I feel like it's our responsibility to the fans, to the community, and most especially to our student athletes to locate and hire the absolute best coach that we can get. And I have no doubt in my mind that we've accomplished that goal. As we discussed the qualities we were looking for in our next head coach, Mark Kellogg stood out above all other candidates. Over the course of the last 5 years, Mark has won more basketball games than any other Division II women's basketball coach. In fact, he's won 86% of his games the past 5 years and 79% during his tenure at Fort Lewis. His teams have excelled academically, with 3 teams being ranked in the WBCA Academic Top 25. His 2010-11 squad had the highest team GPA, 3.71, in the country at any division, Divisions 1, 2, 3, NAIA, and junior college. He's committed to life and balance, as demonstrated by his players' involvement in the community, success on the court, and success in the classroom. He has successfully recruited 4-year players and transfers to build a powerhouse Division II program. Lastly, I'll mention a few personal qualities we found in Mark. Mark is a dedicated family man. He and his wife Trish, their 4-year-old son Camden, and soon-to-be 3-year-old daughter Kaylee, 3 tomorrow? Monday. Coach has got to go home for a birthday party. He says, happy wife, happy life. If you would have been here 6 years ago, you could have saved me a learning curve with my wife. There will be tremendous assets to this community. He considered his players to be a part of his family and treats them as such. He's passionate about his team and his players, and that passion is contagious, and you'll see that as you visit with him. He's going to be a great fit in Maryville. Just to be sure, on his visit here, I took he and his wife to breakfast at the Hy-V, and Rosie's not here, but there's a class that eats breakfast at the Hy-V same day, once a week. It's like the Maryville Spoof Hound class of 63 or something like that. And they were there in full force. A few of them had questions for Coach, wanted to know what we were doing. But I did that by design, because I think that's a part of who this community is. And Coach fit in great, and he actually mentioned that was one of the positives on his visit. 9 months ago, my wife gave birth to our first child. We have a perfect little girl named Addison who's stolen her dad's heart. And the best compliment I can give our next coach is he is the exact kind of coach that I would want her to play for one day. And whether she knows it or not, she will play one day. It is now my privilege to introduce you to our next women's basketball coach, Mark Kellogg. Coach, Jock Snitch provided you with a hat, so you'll learn Jock Snitch does a lot of things for us, so turn it over to you.
Thank you. Well, thank you guys. I'm completely humbled. I'm honored to be the next women's basketball coach here at Northwest. First and foremost, I need to thank Dr. Jasinski and then Wren Baker, who's been absolutely fantastic through this process. Lori, to you as well. You guys have made this, in some ways an easy decision. It's never easy when you have a family, kids, to make those kind of moves, but it wasn't very difficult actually. When we got back, we were here a week ago and went home and had a couple days to think about it, and we just knew that this was the place to be at this time in our lives. So to you guys, thank you for that process. I always have to thank, though, my real boss, my wife, for allowing me to move my family, and I say it jokingly, but what we do here will always be about family first, and we'll always preach that to our players, some of which are here now. And I want to live my life that way. I don't ever want to lose balance of the importance in your life, and I think that's always family, whether that's immediate or extended family. So we'll base, I call them the 4 pillars of our program, and the first one is always family, the second one is academics, the third one is athletics, and then the fourth one is the community service or public relations side of things that we want to give back to the community of Maryville, get into the schools, get all the little kids coming to our camps and to our games and building those relationships. And they'll never get switched. That's really the order that we do those kind of things in. I don't want athletics to ever go in front of the academic side of things. We're here to graduate, get degrees, and we're going to push the kids pretty hard to have success in the classroom as well as we do on the court. I think really they're all encompassing. The better, most well-rounded person you are, I think that affects every phase of your life, or those pillars as we talk about so much here. So going back for my thinking, I guess, because I'm going to get some questions, I'm sure, on why you make the move. You've established a Division II program in Colorado. And first, even before I get into that, I would just give me a couple seconds to thank the people at Fort Lewis for giving me that opportunity 7 years ago to establish a program. I was a first-year head coach who had every vision in the world about how I was going to run things and how I was going to do things. And you know, they always say there's a big difference between that 6 inches between the assistant chair and the head chair, and boy, was that ever true. I thought I knew everything those first few years, and now I look back at it and I don't have a clue what the heck I was doing when I was coaching those first couple years. So we've been able to establish it. I think we have a blueprint now that succeeds at this level, you know, and the way we play and the style of play, which I can get to in a minute. You know, the way we recruit certain players, I call them program kids. That kid that will be in your program for 3, 4, 5 years is how I'm going to base this program. Not that we won't take a transfer, but they're going to be immediate impact players if we're taking transfers. Other than that, I want the kids that want to be at Northwest Missouri for their careers, call this home a little bit. Their college career should be the best 4 years of your lives. You guys that are in here in college, it should be your best friends in your weddings one day, the people that you're going to trust the most through your life. Should be in college, and they are to me. They were in my wedding when I got married, and still my best friends today. So I want that for each kid that plays in our program. In order to do that, I think you do need to win basketball games. That makes it a little more important, or a little more fun, I suppose, if you're winning along the way. And so that's what we'll set out to do. I'd rather win sooner rather than later. No guarantees, no promises whatsoever. But my word's been, we're going to make it a little uncomfortable for these guys. We're going to try to push them a little bit harder than they've ever been pushed. Stein's done an unbelievably good job here, so I know the base work's done. I just get to come in with a new theory, new philosophies, those kind of things. They're just going to be different. We've asked our kids to be completely open-minded with the change, and change can sometimes be good. Some people are hesitant, I think, at times to accept that, but just be open-minded with it, and we'll probably learn quite a bit. So we'll hit the trail. Got here on Monday, met all the team. We even worked them out a little bit already. It's been a whirlwind for me, so I'm forgetting probably quite a bit of this stuff. But we'll get a few pieces in here and see if we can't make some noise in this league immediately. That would be my plan, is to win conference championships, get into the regional, see if we can't win some regional championships and then get to the Elite Eight. I know they were there just a couple years ago. We were there at Fort Lewis a few years ago, and that was the greatest experience. I've called it the greatest ride of my life, was going through that experience. And maybe a better person and a better coach, and if I can, just help these girls out a little bit on and off the court, that would be my goal here. And I think that's about it. I'm excited as heck to be here, though, and hit the ground running. And if anybody needs anything, come and ask. We're an open book. We'll get our kids out in front of you guys as much as we possibly can. Come support us. They need it. We need it. It's a lot more fun to play in front of people. But that's one of the big things that brought me here, I guess. I've forgotten to talk about that, is just the passion for this place. And everywhere I go, I hear that once a Bearcat, always a Bearcat. Northwest Missouri, the Bearcats. My dad was talking to somebody down in Dallas, Texas the other day, and he was doing a presentation and said something about me getting the job here, and somebody stopped the whole presentation and said, "Did you just say Northwest Missouri and Maryville?" And he said, "I did." And she did some Paul Bearcat thing that I'm not even quite sure what that is yet, but I will learn. And he goes, "Yeah, there you go, all the way down in Dallas, Texas." It was an alumni of here, but so proud in Dallas, Texas to be from Northwest Missouri State University. So we are too. So we'll get this thing rolling. I appreciate everybody taking the time to come. And let me know if you ever need anything. Make sure you introduce yourself if you haven't. And if I forget your name this time, I apologize, but I won't the second time. So thank you, guys.